All right. What's up, everybody? Casey here, Hot Moms Lifestyle Podcast, CaseyShip.com. We're here with Samantha H, and we're going to be talking about psychic skills, learning how to relax. I think she said her words exactly, how she learned how to finally relax after 33 years of not relaxing and clearing blocks around motherfucking money, dude. So anyway, I'm super pumped to have you here, Samantha. She's going to grace us with a lot of positivity, and right now we need it. So thank you, Samantha, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So let's get started. So tell us a little bit about you. You know, what do you do for work? Any kids? Are you married? Like, where do you live? Just all that stuff.
Yeah, so I live in Massachusetts. I am married to a man, and I'm an immigration attorney. I focus on humanitarian immigration with kids cases and human trafficking. And I also teach bar fitness classes.
I remember you.
Yeah.
I remember you because I remember when we connected, I'm like, whoa, you did have that aspect where you wanted to get fit and healthy because that had kind of gotten out of control. But I'm like, this is a spiritual case, not spiritual like your case, but like I knew you were tapped in, and I knew you were doing light work because of your job with the attorney. I'm like, she's totally doing light work. So here's what's going on. So that's cool. Okay. How long you been doing that? The immigration attorney?
So I recently became an attorney last year, but I had this very, very specific permission to practice immigration law without being an attorney before that for several years. And then before the legal world, I did case management with immigrant children. So I'm sort of like an expert on immigrant children.
Oh, man, that's so special. I mean, because that's a lot of trauma that they're going through. And wow. Do you have kids of your own or no?
I don't. That's a journey that we're on. It's not been smooth sailing. So we are in the middle of a IVF process.
Okay. Well, you know, a lot of women join our program with struggles of that. I know one, Stephanie, she was in for like 2 years, and we had the massive breakthrough shift. She worked on like energetics, and finally it was some breakthrough. I mean, I'll be happy to tag you. Some breakthrough she had, and they were able to finally, you know, get pregnant. It was really cool. But
awesome.
Yeah, you're not alone in that. And there's a reason why it's happening. So yeah, wouldn't stress too much about it if you can, because it's almost like there's a beautiful message there and you're healing. It's just awesome. But no, it's really cool that you really do have a lot of kids. It sounds like you've got like thousands.
I would say in my career, definitely thousands that I've worked with.
Wow. Okay. You know, and then subconsciously, like you tapping into all that energy, it's almost like your subconscious, like, you sure you want to do this and be a part of creating more of that bullshit? But it's like, no. What was the main problem you had? Because a lot of times we're on the 5D, they're focused on that 3D shit, right? Which you have to. So what was your main 3D problem before you joined the program?
I had been in a car accident, and I was working at a job where I was taking on too many roles, not getting compensated and appropriately. And it was just like too many things to do. Plus I was in school. And so I just felt really burnt out. And I couldn't work out the way I had normally worked out. So I definitely gained weight. So I came just being like, oh, this girl's a fitness model. Like, awesome. She seems to help other people. And that's what I came in thinking it was about, and I'm pleasantly surprised that it's so much more.
Wow, but you came in for the perfect reason. It's what we do. We help women in their becoming, and in the, you know, you were saying you were in the burnout because that's a lot on your plate. Like, I can't believe you weren't in a worse situation, you know? So, and you're right, you know, we gain weight because of it. We get depressed because of it. And really it's like, oh, there's another way to do this. There's another way to like slow down, get what you want, actually have a really good body and better health than ever. What made you choose our program specifically over any others?
I think I was just kind of like the day I guess like went on the website and was like, oh, I'm interested. And then the person I spoke with, I was like, oh, I'm very much into vibes and energy. Like I know you can relate. Like I just like felt like I was like, like she's not really saying, oh, you're going to lose 20 pounds in 6 months and you're going to be great. She's like, oh, we're going to work through your trauma. And I was like, great, because I want to do that. I'm just like, I was having panic attacks every single day. It was just like a bad mental space. And I was like, oh, and she's so patient, you know, with me on the call. And then I was just like, let's do it, same day.
You know, you mentioned something that a lot of women, especially, I've got to do a whole video on this, especially in the self-help coaches community, like a lot of women are like, oh, I've already done that. I don't need to clear trauma. I've done therapy. I've done all that. Like, and you're saying that's what brought you in, which anybody that says I've already done that, I just want this, they're very ignorant. It's very ignorant. It tells me like how fucking much they do need, not necessarily in trauma work, just like only ignorant people would be like, I don't want a better life and more money and more flow and to learn new techniques on how to be a better life. I just want a quick fix and it's just hormones. Like that tells me right there, like you don't want to do the work. You have to do the work or else you would have been there. You'd be there. You would already be where you want to be if you knew what you needed to know. So trauma brought you in. Tell me why that didn't trigger you. Why did that almost bring you in versus I don't have trauma? Because people think trauma is like you're fucked up. Like tell me like where your mind's at with all that, because you're very soft and integrated. So tell me about it.
Well, I had a very traumatic childhood. So I think I've been like super aware of like how trauma impacts things since I was very young, even when I was very young, but more so now. Well, one thing I learned here is like, I feel very much like I'm an empath, and like, I didn't know that until this. I'd be like, wow, like my parents, like, what are you doing? Like, this seems so crazy. And I'm like 10 years old, you know? And then I started a career that is like trauma heavy. I've had successes in sort of like being like, this is my role and this is what I can do in it. And other times, like, it's so heavy, like I'm like drowning, gotten better in time. But I think some things that I would do, whether I'm like an old soul or not, ever since I was little, I would meditate. No one taught me how to meditate. I grew up very Italian Catholic, every morning, like setting my intentions for the day. I think some of that was kind of like a coping strategy to like the chaos that was my life. But then as I went through this very tumultuous, I actually just listened to your crown chakra training, and kind of this idea of like you have like a total collapse before you evolve, which is maybe not the exact words you said, but I was like, oh, that is what happened within the last 2 years. Like I had a total breakdown, and then great, like they can teach me fitness, but I want to know how to do more of this stuff that's sort of been like internal in me anyways. Like I want to elevate that.
Yeah. Dude. Well, through crisis, a lot of times we awaken.
Mm-hmm.
You know, only fools remain in suffering.
Mm-hmm.
So you're one of the smart ones that says, hey, I'm fucking, this hurts and this fucking sucks. Somebody show me a better way. And it goes beyond self-help books, you know, like we do such deep work here. Like, and I'm saying this for the people listening. So if you notice, and I've watched this over and over, myself included, you're in a job that you're in because of your programming, right? So you said you grew up in trauma and then you found yourself in jobs that was just overwhelming, way too much on your plate, because that's what your nervous system was used to. It was used to way more than it could handle. Hello, burnout. And as you evolve, you may change, you know, as knowledge expands, you know, your wants will change. So don't be surprised if 8 years down the road, you're like, I don't want to do this job anymore. And you're transitioning into something else because you've healed that part of you that needed to do it. And I say that, like I said, people have to look at right now their jobs. Like, how is your job feeling? And whatever is going on in your job, you know, if your boss is an asshole, that also reflects like how something in your life, there's always an asshole motherfucker that's fucking your shit up. So you have to look at that. See what you're doing, Samantha? You're bringing out so much awareness for everybody else. So was there anything in particular, and it may be multiple things for you, I don't know anything, I'm game for whatever. What do you feel like really helped you? And why was it so effective?
I think for me, like I've taken anti-anxiety medicines. I'm not taking any right now. In the course, like how to slow down and like it's okay to slow down. I mean, I used to really sleep for like 3 hours a day for years, which is like very not healthy. Just kind of the idea that like you can like the proverbial pour from an empty cup. And I think that was like really, really insightful for me, because like I was like, I'm burning from both ends without moving in the way I want to move. And I'm like bootstrapping everything. I bought a multifamily house with a very specific loan to help first time home buyers, and like thing that, and my whole family told me not to do it. And just kind of like I was going, and then I was crashing, and then I crashed significantly. That course in particular was really helpful, but I also think like learning about the adrenal system and learning about kind of specific hormones and how to heal those has been really helpful for me as well.
Yeah, because our hormonal situation, a lot of it could be age, but sometimes that's programming as well. Like people just wait. They're like, I knew it was 30 years old. I'm like, God, that's because you programmed this into your mind. So let's deprogram. But we have to learn how to get out of the addiction of fight or flight, which you and I sounds like you were in, like it's all you knew. So relaxing was scary as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, if I do this, there may be guilt involved. Like you should be up doing something. That's dead giveaway. There's lots of trauma there. Your nervous system's been in a fight or flight for way too long. Learning how to reset and restore your hormones from an energetic frequency standpoint, mind, body, spirit, really physically too, because physically you have to learn how to relax and do the things that we teach more than just breath work. What would you say though, for the people listening, give them a tip on, hey, I was feeling like this. Cause some women are like, well, I don't feel that way, but they're like numbed out on shit. They're too busy. Give them an example. Like, hey, here's what burnout kind of felt like for me. Some thoughts you were having, whether it was self-doubt or like the world's falling, the sky's falling. How did anxiety and stress show up for you, or burnout? How did it show up? Do you remember?
Oh, most definitely. A good friend of mine and I call it like the doom. We would, for the first minute of waking up, it would be like things are fine. And then all of a sudden it was like this heavy feeling would literally come over. I would be like laying in bed and my heart would be racing. And it got so bad I was like throwing up every day. I call it like spiral city, but like spiraling. Things that are like 100% never going to happen or 100% like not possible, that would just like spiral, and like I couldn't control my thoughts. And then I was having like physical reactions. And I just was like, I can't do it. Like, I have to switch jobs. Like, I have to take a step back.
Yeah, no, I felt you this morning. Literally. I even drew the stress card, and I've never drawn that card. And I felt you this morning. Usually people that I talk to that day, that's why I don't take calls. And if I do, it's special calls and but usually I'll feel the people. But I've felt that before as well, because you're only in my reality because I was you, you were me, we are, and you're so right. It's that doom. It's like impending doom.
Yeah.
And it's so sad because it's not true. It's an old familiar energy that was our go-to, and we have to be snapped out of that reality. And it takes multiple things to help you go there. Now, what have you found so far? You just told me you went on a fucking beach vacation and did nothing. Like, what's one step they could take? What's the first step besides being aware of it?
Working through like the different programs or like the different courses. For example, one of the books that was recommended on the book list about money was like the Lucky Bitch one. I forget exactly what it's
Get
called.
Rich Lucky Bitch is such a good book. I love that book. Yeah.
I guess I would say like, I grew up very poor. Money was always like a fight between my parents. They were divorced. I've done nonprofit. I'm in the federal loan forgiveness program for school loans. It's always been like, I feel like very much as an adult, I've had like a good life, not a luxurious life, but like old habits die hard. So I would like never buy new things, always secondhand, whatever. And I read that book with other work, obviously. And I was like, I'm going to do one thing a month that I would do if I was rich. And like one of them was like having my car cleaned, like on the inside, like not a lot of money, like we've been going through this whole IVF process. And I was like, I've been really intentional about trying to relax. And I was like, you know what, let's just go on a trip. And normally I would be like, we're going to go biking, then snorkeling, then scuba diving, then this, then we're going to go to this, like, oh, we have to take advantage. We're only here for X number of days.
Scarcity.
Yes.
It's going to run out.
Yeah, when will I ever be back and whatever. And so I was just like, you know what? No, it's beautiful. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to listen to a class. I'm going to even do nothing. It was a step in my past would never have taken that I feel really grateful that I did take.
My God, that's huge. And that's brave. But I want to say this. So as you know, I have a new program called Amar. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Okay. And the reason why is because you have to go through this foundational shit. You can't ignore the physical body, even those that are all the spiritual, the goddess and the We have human bodies. We have to do the body work. Okay. And that's where Hot Moms comes in. We do the body work. It's physical, but you're very powerful. Most women, lots of power there. And the stress that we feel, like it's been our purpose, the things that you've been through, it's like this awakening. It's an awakening. And when you awaken, I went over this in the crown chakra. It's that damn Aladdin where he goes, cosmic power, itty bitty living space. And that's why it's been so painful in our bodies. Like, and once you start clearing some of this shit through Hot Moms, you will transition into stepping into that Amara energy and the goddess energy and realizing like who the fuck you really are. And oh my God, I wasn't crazy. This wasn't even anxiety. This was power, untapped power. Like things will start making sense. It sounds like you're doing so much of that, but it was easy. It sounds easy for you. Like I've never talked to a student that went from where you were at to booking that trip. I mean, that's a big deal. I'm just recognizing that courage that you took. What's the outcome? Did you have aha moments on the trip? Like what's come through since you've kind of energetically relaxed?
This was a really exciting week. Well, one, I think on the trip, my partner and he's having kind of his own life awakening that I think was like in part because of me, but because of timing and whatever. I felt like we bonded. I think because I've been working on like my hormones, and we had a lot more intimacy than we normally do, which was like really positive. In this past week, I found out I'm getting licensed in another state, which was like a journey and like a raise, which they're really great. And in the book and in the class, of course, just like thanking the universe. And that's kind of what I like. I don't
You
really
are
say
the
God or
universe.
whatever, but yeah.
But you're doing the work. This is it. Because
Mm-hmm.
once you open up and trust that, and you do the thing, like you said, you knew you needed to learn how to relax. You knew you needed to do one thing about the money, because money and scarcity and poverty and all that, and feeling like, well, I just can't afford that. That's all part of being in trauma. No money and scarcity is trauma. Feeling like there's not enough, that's trauma. So once you realize that and realize that there's a way out, and just little bitty things like you're celebrating you, and now the sky's the limit, because once you do it one time, you'll get better and better and better and better. And then you'll look back and go, oh, been here before. I know this. Like you'll have the codes, like you've got the codes for it, you know? And then two, I feel like the kid thing, like we're just going to work on that if that's really what you want. And this is why women go through hell when they have kids. Some of them don't, because a lot of us didn't have ideal situations growing up, right? We had parents that were anxious themselves, depressed, struggling, stressed out, not their latchkey kid, whatever. We don't want to bring our kids up in that, or sexual abuse.
Yep.
Some people have abuse. Listen, I've worked with women you'd never think have anything going on. They'll tell me, no, never had abuse, never. They'll get in the program, they've blocked it out. Mm-hmm. And we'll start doing the work, and then here it comes. And I'm like, all right, so now this makes sense, right? Once I think you continue to clear the stuff and realize that you're not going to be your parents. Mm-hmm. Like it's going to happen. You're 33. You've got time. Like it's going to fucking happen, but I'm going to connect you with Stephanie and give you like a game plan. Make sure that you're on the path for having a baby. Okay. Yeah. Okay. How has your life changed? Tell us about your weight and your energy and your sleep. Like, give us all those deets.
Like I lost 8 pounds. I think I joined in during the holidays. In terms of like what I do for a workout, I am following some of the workouts, and then I go to a boot camp and then also do bar.
Oh
like,
God.
Yeah.
So she's probably doing too much.
Yeah. I've thought of that as well. I've actually committed to less boot camps. And God. I think I'm gonna wave off of them.
You need to be in baby boot camp, which is like, soft and like nurturing exercise flow. Yeah.
It's definitely something I've like, okay, so 8 pounds, definitely I would say a lot of inches. I look more muscular. I would say my sleep is, for the first time, like I'm sleeping like 7.5 plus hours, like daily.
You're healing.
Yeah. And it's really crazy, because like I used to be like, oh, I can do so much because I only sleep for 3 hours. And now I'm like, oh, I look forward to sleeping. And I can sleep.
Are you taking anything? Women are like, what is she taking?
Well, truthfully, I do. I live in a state where cannabis is legal, so I do take some THC, CBD, sometimes an edible, which not always.
THC and CBD, like for people, most women need to be on fucking a lot of plant medicine, but they're on Western medicine, and it's like, it's not working. Hello. But even though, you come from like complex PTSD. So you actually need that shit, Mm-hmm. So wow, though, when you were sleeping 3 hours, were you also doing cannabis?
Not as much. I would say I for sure had a caffeine addiction. Anxiety was fueling it. But yeah, definitely a lot of caffeine.
Same here. When I was at my worst, I remember sitting there going, and they're like, you probably should come off caffeine. I'm like, oh no, I mean, I'm not, no way, coming off caffeine or anything that's giving you energy and being okay with not having energy. Now we can get to work. Now we can tap into the shit. How are you on any caffeine?
Say I have like a tea in the morning, and then like I would say, depending, I like coffee, like the way it tastes. Sometimes I'll have a coffee 3 times a week in the afternoon. But I was taking like a double espresso at 6 p.m., which is like just to be able to do what I needed to do for the rest of the night. Yeah, that's been a positive change.
Girl, I was on Adderall and doing venti coffees. Like, I get it. I fucking get it. And I'm not on any of that anymore. Like, it's possible. So you heard what she was doing. 3 hours of sleep, now 7.5. And a lot of women are like, but I can't. Like, what would you say to them? They go, I can't not do that. I have to keep going. Like, what's your response?
I would say like I felt like that, and I still struggle with feeling like that. Like there are times where I'm like, oh my God, like what am I doing? Like I'm healing, right? Or I'm sleeping, but I should be. But I've really tried to reframe that and be like, it's okay. Like you can do more if you're well rested. If you think you don't have time, like you're going to get to a point where you like crash and burn. Like I literally like crashed, and like then you couldn't do anything.
Let me go back though, but you've gotten a raise, more intimacy, sensual, lost inches, feeling sexier, and you're just getting started. Okay. I'm telling you right now, you're just getting started and you're fucking crushing it. How do you feel about going backwards?
Like intentionally going back, like intentionally like stopping.
There you go. There you go. You just said it, being that you have to be intentional and like choose to fuck your shit up, because once you get to where Samantha's at, she's slayed the demons that caused her to be there. So what would be your take on that?
Maybe I'll have cake at a birthday party, like two pieces of cake at a birthday party. Or like on this trip, I worked out one day because I wanted to, walked on the beach because we wanted to. We weren't super strict about what we ate, but I would just say like kind of meditating before I sleep. It's like autopilot. It's just like, I have to do it. I kind of call them like psychic. Like I really can like get in these deep meditations and like channel. But now I'm just like, shit, this is really cool that I can do this. My mom, she also has similar skills, I guess. So I feel like, oh, what more can I do? And I feel in some ways like I've kind of been like a helpful person for friends that are in this like spiral mode. Maybe it's a different iteration of it. Like I can't imagine that I'm just going to be like, well, F it. I'm never going to focus on this. But I mean, I don't know. That's me.
You literally clear out the reason why you would need to go backwards. So
yeah,
it's only up and up. And I'm not saying it's going to be sunshine and rainbows. We're saying that when you experience something moving forward, you're going to look at it differently because you're a different person, And
I can give it like a really good example of kind of like you grow up in chaos, you're addicted to chaos, work at whatever, your own relationship or whatever is chaos. Now when there's like family things that are chaotic, I'm like, oh, okay. That's all. Like I'm not interested in the drama of it. And people are like, oh, you're so cold. And I'm like, that's okay. Like, period. It's like not going backwards, right? It's a different me.
Yeah,
like,
it
I
is.
respond differently.
Yeah. When your self-worth increases, you stop tolerating shit.
Yep.
Period. So you don't go back to shit. Like, would you eat dog shit if you knew it was going to make you sick? Like, would you eat it? No. And I have the worst analogies sometimes, but whatever. Where do you think you would be if you did not take action that day we talked? Because I know it was probably scary,
I think I maybe would be like on some sort of other, like, I don't want to say like a yo-yo diet, but at the end of the day, like kind of like a quicker fix is certainly been there before. And I was like, oh, like I can lose, 20 pounds in 4 months and off I go. I also feel like, and maybe not everyone would identify as having like some sort of energetic or psychic skills, call them, but I'm like, holy shit, like these people in this group are people who get it. I kind of feel like I found my people. So I feel like I also wouldn't have been tapping into that, like being able to channel, being able to like really deeply meditate and connect. So I probably wouldn't be like deep into kind of the work. So I'd probably still less intimacy, no relaxing.
Yeah. When you find, it changed my life, Samantha. When I found people that were like me and thought like me, because my whole life, I'd been this way, but I'd been around the wrong type of people, man.
Yeah.
But when you find your people, oh my God, like today we were all talking about, did y'all feel there was other beings here, like ETs, like and they're like, oh my God, and it's so cool when you find your people, because I know my shaman lady, she's a medicine woman, and she'll start talking and she'll say, I know this sounds fucking crazy. I'm like, Dawn, let's go. I fucking with me. Like you can say anything to me and I fucking get it,
Yeah.
No, I love it. Okay. So if you didn't take action, you'd probably be doing what everybody else does. And it's so funny. I'll get women, they're like, I mean, I can lose weight. I've done it before. And I'm like, are you wanting to do the same thing, like a crack and a crackhead thing? Or are you wanting to fix the reason why you've been like yo-yoing this shit for 25 years? Dude, I've seen them and know the coaches that can get really amazing results, but they're doing it in ways that's just not my style. I'm not going to intermittent fasting. I'm not going to live by these goddamn rules. I refuse to live that life again. No, I'm not going to. You can only do it this way and this way. And it's the only thing I will do, Samantha, is like if my food test or I have a frequency machine, if there's a food I know that makes me sick, I'm probably not going to eat that, but I'm not going to live in a way that's like, I can't do this or this or that. This is it. Fuck that. Same with money. If I'm not, no, I don't live that life anymore. No. Are you that way?
Yeah, so like on the food test, like gluten, which I kind of suspected anyways, and dairy. So I've been 80 to 85% no gluten, or certain dairies are better than others. On the trip, I was like, well, I'm not going to go out of my way to find like an alternative. So like it is what it is. I know how I'm going to feel after, so I'm going to just avoid it. It's not a big deal.
Right. Yeah. It's not gonna, because it used to fuck me up. If I knew, if I didn't abide by my little control shit and follow my plan that my coach gave me and take all this stuff like and supplement, like, no, fuck that. If there's anybody watching this, there are women out there that don't think they have problem. There's some women that are like, I'm good. I'm actually good. I just want to like, look extra sexy. There's women out there that have listened to me. They're terrified of investing. Will they fail? Spending money, time. Like, what would you say to them?
I felt a little nervous in the beginning, like, oh, what if I spend this money and it doesn't really do anything? But I would say like you're like investing in yourself, like kind of across the board, like physically, energetically, spiritually, emotionally. You're your own best investment. Like I'm sure people invest on like superficial things like clothes or purses or whatever. But my motto, I guess, in my whole life, even when I was only 3 hours a day, is like you have as much time as you make. Think that you can make time to, I take baths with like CBD bath salts in it and like dried flowers and like, it doesn't have to be 4 hours, even if it's 20 minutes, then I'm like, oh, I really feel different. I think just like intentionality about it. And I think like, you get what you put in if you're like willing to do it.
Yeah. And now what is doing it? Because they think that it's waking up at 5 a.m. and doing journaling and meditations. Like what is the work?
I guess in my experience, once or twice a day, like, oh, I see the Facebook, like whoever's posted on Facebook, and sometimes people converse, so that's like not a big heavy lift, but sometimes it's like listening to a lesson or like one of the videos, and I usually do it while I'm driving or like walking. And then sometimes it's journaling. Like sometimes I'm like really into the prompts, and other times I'm like, okay, that's like a nice suggestion, but I'm gonna journal how like whatever I go from there. To me, part of the work has been some of these money things, like, oh, I'm gonna go on vacation, or, oh, I'm going to lift heavier at the gym. Like instead of doing 80 pounds, I'm going to do 100, and like some of it was easy things like, oh, gluten. Okay. So I'm going to not buy things that have gluten, so I don't know.
Because women think it's stuff that it's something they're going to add to their plate. And I'm like, we're actually removing the stuff.
I think removing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you nailed it. If you can just listen to the content, the energy's there.
Mm-hmm.
There's an energy in the content and it will raise you up. It'll give you what you need. So yeah, I love that. What's the craziest shit so far that's happened? Like it could be supernatural. It could be like give me some crazy shit.
Well, I feel very much that like it's only if I'm in the shower or the bath, so people like might think it's crazy. I feel like I can like either go somewhere else physically. I think this is the best example. That doesn't sound like totally insane.
No, like, say the insane. This is what I'm working on. I'm working on self-expression because turns out when I say the off the wall shit, I will get DMs and like emails and like, oh my God, I felt the same way. And I don't get that when I'm superficial. So fucking give me the insane shit. It's safe.
Okay.
Fuck everybody else.
So I had like my eyes could be closed or open, whatever, but it has to be like where there's water. And so like I can't do it in my bed, but water. And so I had this vision, but I could physically feel, hear, smell, like where I went to the house that or like where I lived when I was 17 and applying for colleges. Think like, oh, my immediate family went to college and like I went to like a well-off school, I guess. And like, where did I get kind of like the balls, be so assertive and be confident? Because like I certainly didn't feel that way internally, but I was super social and I saw people and I was super involved and got really good grades. And I remember like in this vision, it was me, myself now, talking to my 17-year-old self at this dining table. And I so distinctly remember like writing my college admissions essay about working at McDonald's and how I wanted to study government. And like everyone at McDonald's was like the United Nations and blah, blah, blah. Like that's so specific to remember. Like I don't remember that many things about being 17. And I literally had a conversation with myself out loud. And I was like, oh, you have to make friends. You have to get involved. Oh, but like this, it sucks here. Like, like where I was growing up. But I really feel like it influenced who I was at 17 because, and like I've cut ties with my father, my siblings haven't. And they're like, oh, I wish, like, how did you get that strength? But I feel like that conversation that I had literally influenced who I was at 17. Like time and space.
Time doesn't exist.
Yeah.
The time doesn't exist on that invisible realm. It does not exist. That's why spiritually, if you close your eyes, we can sit there and feel the money, all the things. And in physical reality, it takes time. If you ever watch, there's a movie, the Nutcracker movie, I think some Disney remade or something, and that's perfect. It shows why like the physical, moving slow, spirit. She goes, ooh, in your realm, it moves so slow. That's why everything's really slowly. And here it moves so quickly. What you're talking about, Samantha, it's my life every day. I'm constantly channeling soul retrievals, channeling future self, past self. And you can go into the future to see what your future self or parts of yourself that's fragmented off will inform your now self and make changes on the current. So this is a thing.
Yeah.
This is a thing. But not everybody can do that. And they're like, how does she do that? Every one of us has this thing that Samantha's talking about that I'm talking about. And a lot of times women who are really gifted, and Samantha, you are, anybody usually that's coming into my space, we're all alike. And I'm here to, hey, here's who you are in the becoming. Let me help you in your becoming. Let me help you awaken. Is you've always been like this. And that's why they try to over medicate us. They try to make us feel crazy. And it's really not. Once you can just embrace being that crazy lady, you become extremely powerful. Like where you'll say something and they'll be like, oh no. And it's like, oh, it's happening. Like it happens. And then a week later, they're like, I feel this way and this is happening. I'm like, yep. I mean, if you'd just like surrendered to the message, you could have changed reality, but whatever. You have to suffer because that's part of your story. You're able to time travel. You're tapping into that. And it's interesting that water puts you there. Do you have a water feature? You need to get a water feature put a water feature next to your bed.
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay.
Now, and listen, if it comes too strong, because I work with a lot of sensitive people and sometimes it'll come in too fast because when visible realm shit knows that you're opening up to it, it's all going to come in. Some days you got to be like, chill.
Yeah.
Don't want to do that. And you get to choose. So just an FYI on that one. Anything else that's coming through, because time travel is huge. 17-year-old channel back to yourself. I love that.
I did like a little cord cutting kind of from the energy vampire. I know you've talked about it as well. Cord cutting again, like in the shower. And it was like blue light, like tentacles almost. And I like cut them and it felt physical. Again, this is like, I'm not on heavy drugs, like nothing to, it felt like a physical pain. I was like, oh my God. And it felt like a release, obviously. And then like the next day I weighed 2 pounds less.
We've got one now, Leah and Amara, and she says, Casey, I'm not shitting you. She kind of got tripped out at first, but then I'm like, sister, this is normal. She's lost like 27 pounds from just doing the energy work and womb clearing. She doesn't even work out and doesn't even really diet. And I explain cord cutting and it's great. We want to make sure that we go to the root of why you cause that cord to attach. Because you know how you can cut bushes sometimes and they grow back more. So, and I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this for everybody and informative. So you have to make sure when you're cutting the cord, ask yourself, what in you attracted that person? Make sure that you've done the work there. That boundary. And then also be aware when you cut cords, that person, situation, place, thing, whatever could present itself again. Like we had a girl yesterday, she got in tomorrow and she goes, it's been 10 years. I did the womb clearing, cut cord, cleared out the whatever. They messaged me. I'm like, it's okay. My dad had a heart attack the day that I cut his cord. Okay. And then they'll call you back in. It's their way to get you back in. Spirit feels you disconnecting. So it's your chance to set the new boundary, clear the fucking shit, whatever. So just be aware that anytime you do that, it may happen again, but you lost 2 pounds. I love that. Women are going to be like, can I get that cord cutting?
Cord cutting.
Beautiful. And you saw it right. Tentacles. I've had multiple people say, and also have seen it. It is when you have something connected to your energy, it's sticky and like tentacle-y wrapping. Like it's crazy, man.
Yeah. And I feel like there's like other examples, but I feel like I'm like, let's see what happens. Like the cord cutting, I felt intentional about like, that's what I wanted to do. But the 17-year-old, like, this was, I was like, whoa, like, but then I was like, I'm just going to go with it. See what happens.
You're so powerful. Just really open up to that part, just really embrace that part of you. The physical stuff, you could definitely do less on the workouts. And whatever that's bringing up, then go clear it and go see what that's bringing up. Especially right now, this week coming into spring equinox, it's like we have visitors. Okay. There's visitors here. I don't know dick about astrology, but apparently there's something going on with Aquarius. We haven't been here since 2007. A lot of us extra tired. If you notice, like you may have extra aches and feel like your body hurt. Is your body kind of hurting this week or no?
I feel a little tired. I sort of attributed it to like, I relaxed. And sometimes when I guess relax, I had in the past like felt more tired, but it could be that.
That's what we're all feeling. It's time to rest, and it's going to be gone in like a few days. We're going to be back to sun's coming out. But right now it's almost like we're in this journey. If we're on drug trip, we are in the journey. The medicine has gotten to us, and all we got to do now is just lay there and be downloaded. Our DNA gets upgraded. Now is not the time to force caffeinate up or like fight it. Don't fight it. Just trust it. And it's going to be, you'll come out stronger and more powerful than having to repeat karmatic bullshit because you didn't want to feel it. It's so fucking whack that I've even wanted to come down and off of certain hormones. And I've got a total hysterectomy because something's telling me, hey, you never were okay with feeling the way you were feeling. It's time because there's power here. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. So
yeah, that made me sweat saying that. Let me see what people are saying. If they may have questions for you. Hold on one second. She's like, oh my God, I needed this call. And Amy goes, now I go in as I need the feels. I used to be overwhelmed by the amount of content. Yeah. Well, see, it's not content, Amy. It's energy. So it's never that you're overwhelmed by content. It's the energy. And just let it siphon in. Just let it drip in. And then it'll open up. She said it's uncovering so much for her. So see, like just you being here.
Yeah.
This week, a thing that came up for me is I got pissed at myself because I made appointments. I didn't like that. And I was like, hold on. Our job as a light worker is to change the energy frequency. You know, sometimes it feels great to release money. It feels so good and elevated. And then sometimes it's like there's terror and there's fear and there's, okay, this is my thing. You do not have to adopt this at all. If it doesn't feel good to invest or release that particular dollar, thousands, whatever, how can we clean it? How can we bless this transaction and bless the person that we're giving it to and intend on what this donation is going to be? You know, when I say donation, I mean, you know, if you're spending 10 grand on something, how can you see it as a donation? Because you're donating out of the goodness of your heart and you're going to get something in return, but you're blessing that person. You're blessing those employees. That's coming from an abundant woman. You know,
I like that.
I don't give to kids and whatever, but I sit there and I felt bad about that. I was like, fuck, I want to give it. And they're like, you are. Just you spending money is blessing so many people. So start being intentional with it. And really, truly, when you get groceries and you're blessing those farmers and you're blessing those people working there, that's going to change the frequency of that dollar. Your frequency changes people. Facts. You know this about yourself too, Samantha, right?
Yeah.
Most people in Hot Moms, our frequency elevates people. People can be around us and they feel better. They feel more inspired. They just feel better. Realizing that my energy frequency helps other people. I think my work is Hot Moms. My work is doing the money thing. It's me living. It's when I go to an appointment, it's a divine appointment. There's something about me, that lady putting her hands on me, that pedicure, that fucking whatever appointment I went to, they needed my blessing. They needed my energy frequency. You see it totally different. You're like, okay. Yeah. And then you're like, well, that's your work because I'm pissed because of appointments because I can't do this. Like, who the fuck do I think I am? This little control freak, ego, human shit. Fuck that. Go be a medicine woman. You feel me?
Yeah.
It brings in this like nun type thing where you truly are there to serve. And it feels so fucking good. Samantha, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to add to or close with?
No, I'm super appreciative. And I think it is a really, at least Mastermind is like a really great community and like resources. So I'm super appreciative as I continue growing.
You're so welcome. No, it's going to be a while. I mean, I feel like we're going to be like talking for like 5, fucking 8, 10 years. It's going to be really cool to watch everybody's evolution. Thank you so much. And I will talk to you soon.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
See you. Bye.